Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2. Welcome to DBL. It's Monday, January 25th. I'm Jeff here with my friends Stephanie and Brandon. Let's jump right in, guys, because we got a new couple alert. You guys ready for this?
Oh, yeah.
Kourtney Kardashian and Blink-182 drummer Travis Barker are reportedly dating. I should have made fun of Travis, too, but I don't really know how he talks. Kourtney and Travis have been friends for years and live in the same gated community. They sparked romance rumors after they both reportedly stayed at Kris Jenner's Palm Springs house. Travis also commented on Kourtney's closet selfie with a rose. Neither of them have confirmed the rumors, but what's up? We got a hot couple alert? I like it. I kind of like it. I dig it.
I think it's a slightly unusual pairing, and just because he's a bit more rough and rugged, isn't he? Let's be honest, he's a bit more, I'd say he's a bit more fun,
What
he's
gives
a bit
it
more
away?
crazy.
His head-to-toe tattoos?
No, it's just his lifestyle. He's like a rocker, isn't he? He's like he's been in like one of the most famous bands of my generation. He's amazing. I love him, but I also love Kourtney Kardashian. I always saw her like, but she likes a bit of a bad boy, doesn't she? Remember Scott Disick, who she has her 3 children with? They were together for like 10 years plus, and he was a bit of a bad boy too. So maybe she's got a thing for the guys that give her a bit of a challenge.
He's more of that corporate bad boy, though. He was always wearing a suit, kind of like a Conor McGregor
bad
type.
boy. Did he even have a job?
Yeah, blue collar criminal, and now she's went over to the dark side. And, you know, it's all the small things. You know, I can see why this is working. But would you date a long-term friend?
Oh, like someone that I've been friends with for years? By the way, Scott Disick is not a criminal. I just use that reference. He's not a criminal. You're getting started on a Monday. But you know, I've never personally dated somebody that I've been friends with for that long. I kind of cherish that friendship. Yeah. But, you know, kind of to give them some sort of credit, a lot of people like, you can date whoever you want. I think when you're that status, like a Travis Barker, Kourtney Kardashian, your pool is actually limited. Yeah. So it's like maybe this is the only person you could rely on. Yeah,
well, so just to make it clear as to why they've known each other for so long, they live in the same gated community in Calabasas. It's beautiful. I've been to his house, well, not inside, but outside, and been like, hello, kind sir, because one of my friends literally lived across the road from him, and I was very like taken aback because I was a big Blink-182 fan. But I had no idea that I would have been way more bothered if I knew Kourtney was down the road. Never saw her. But I can see how it happens because I've met a couple of my exes in like the gym, and it's been more of a case of I've been going to a gym, we do the same kind of classes, and then over time it's like, you know, the first few times you see someone, you're just like, yeah, hi. And then it's like, how's your weekend? Yeah, it's good. And then it slowly evolved into like then me somehow ending up dating them. So I can see how it happens when they're in the same community.
That's somebody you met on the squat rack. When I think of this, I think of my friends that always hit me up. Every time I put Stephanie up on my social media, my friends are always, why don't you try and date Stephanie? Try and holler at Stephanie. Me and Stephanie auditioned for this and got DBL together. I tell Stephanie absolutely everything about my love life, and she critiques. She tells me sometimes she's like, bloody hell, mate. Don't text her. She doesn't like you, mate. You know, she gives me everything. So, but I say that in the sense of sometimes you just know too much about someone to date them, especially when they're your friend.
But you guys are the perfect example. You're setting up that perfect. You're talking about someone you just see passing at the gym. That's how you kind of date. Yeah. I'm talking about like a friendship like you guys have. Would you guys ever?
No, I cherish it too much.
He's like become my big brother.
Well, that's the answer. Well, I'm saying some people.
But I don't think they were that close. I wouldn't say they were like besties. I'd say like they've both got kids. His kids are slightly older. They've been used to seeing each other around the community, and they know what it's like to be of a certain level of fame and status. Yeah.
All right, quickly before we move on, would you date a Travis Barker type?
No.
Really? I can't see you. I don't know why I see you like with him.
No. I think.
Rough?
Not that he's too rough. I've got a thing about, no offense, Brandon, but any of my friends that dated like football players, it was always a nightmare. It was always a nightmare. They were always miserable. There was always some other girl on the side. There was always something. I wouldn't want to date someone that's that much in the public eye or that goes on tour. What goes on tour stays on tour. And I have got no desire to have anyone going on tour and doing those things.
She put you in that ball player
She was
category.
talking about soccer players, not American football players.
Oh,
Come on now.
Of course, soccer players. Of course.
Way to differentiate that. All right, Kate Hudson is getting real about her unique co-parenting situation. Kate spoke on the Today Show on Sunday about raising 3 kids with 3 different dads. Kate, her son is 17 years old and with Chris Robinson, has a 9-year-old son with ex-fiance Matt Bellamy and a 2-year-old daughter with her current partner Danny Fujikawa. Let's watch.
You know, I've got multiple dads. I've got kids all over the place. The only expectations I really have that are really high in my life is with my kids and with like family stuff. Mm-hmm. Other than that, it's like, I just let it go. Like I do it. I work my off and then I walk away and I hope for the best.
All right. So what do you guys think? 3 different dads. Listen, that's tough. I'm just speaking from having my wife, who I live with, and 2 kids. That's hard, right? So having 3 different, you go for it, Brandon.
I'm thinking as a kid who's product of a divorce. You know, when my parents got divorced in the when I was in the 4th grade. I'm thinking Christmas for those kids because when I come home, when I get to go home for Christmas, I spend Christmas morning with one side of the family in Richmond, VA, and then I drive about an hour down the road to go to my other side of the family in Hampton, VA. So it's like, now those kids, you got different households you have to bounce around and go to. And that's the first thing that popped up in my head when it came to co-parenting is the holidays. If you have to have a conversation about who the kids are going to spend the holidays with, what family, I can imagine that can get ugly when it comes to who's spending more time with what family, or I want them to see my family a little bit more. So that's too much. I just want to be one and done.
I know. I'm thinking of movie 4 Christmases. This is on another level. Right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. But you got to think, we're just mere mortals, right? Whereas Kate Hudson is very blessed, she's very privileged, she lives a certain lifestyle. I'm sure she gets a lot of help with her children and people, nannies taking them here, there and everywhere. And I remember I worked with Kate for a project many years ago now. And I remember she said to me, gosh, you're so stressed out, just be chill, do yoga, be zen, let life happen. And I was like, what? Like, no, I can't, you know, so I think she's just very relaxed kind of girl. And she was just like, just do your more yoga, girlfriend, it's fine. I was like, yeah, no, it's not going to be fine.
She seems like, look at her parents. How cool is her parents?
I think she's just very chilled.
Yeah, she's relaxed.
I was not chilled at that moment.
But you kind of just glossed over, like, yeah, I was at this house and Travis Barker was there. And now, like, I'm friends with Kate Hudson. And
I'm not friends with the girl, I just worked with her.
And she called you a mere mortal.
Wow.
I said us mere mortals.
Nah, you weren't talking to me.
You're talking to me and Brandon specifically because of your highfalutin friends.
No.
Darn footballers.
Well, on to her best friend, Kiera Knightley. You go
I
to
don't
school
know
with
her,
her?
sadly.
You don't? All right.
No.
One person. Brandon's friends with her. Kiera Knightley is drawing a line in the sand when it comes to nudity and sex scenes in films. On the Chanel Connects podcast, Kiera says she has a no nudity clause in her contract that's mainly due to vanity because her body looks different after having 2 kids, of course. But she is also done filming sex scenes with a male director. Have a listen.
I feel very uncomfortable now trying to portray the male gaze. Saying that, there's times where I go, yeah, I completely see where this sex scene would be really good in this film, and you basically just need somebody to look hot, and so therefore you can use somebody else. Because I'm too vain, and the body has had two children now, and I'd just rather not stand in front of a group of men naked.
All right, Steph, I'm just going to go to you first and see how you feel about this. Do you like this?
Oh, I think I completely understand it. I mean, I've had 0 children and I wouldn't wish to be running around naked, like filming a sex scene now. And even if someone offered me, it'd have to be a crazy amount of money to do that. So you got to think, again, when she's earned her stars and stripes, she's already been in multiple movies. First of all, she doesn't really need to work and build up to any kind of status. And we see people do this a lot. So remember Khaleesi from Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke? In the first season, a few episodes in, she was actually completely nude, and that was her body. There was no body double, or, they didn't chop her head off and put it on someone else. And after that scene, she said it literally mortified her. She didn't want to do it anymore, and she said she would never, ever do it again. So, I mean, again, she did it. She got the role. She was one of the most famous, stars of, the last 10 years of television, I would say. Absolutely huge, Emilia Clarke. And even she was like, no, never again. So I think it's a personal choice, a personal preference, but I completely relate to this. I think, without having children, I wouldn't want to do it either.
But do you think, and after listening, I know that was just a little soundbite, but after listening to that, is it more of my career is big enough to where I don't have to do it, or is it more, I'm more self-conscious of my body because I just had children?
I think it's literally a mixture of both, because in one breath she's saying it's because she's vain and she doesn't want people to see her body now that she's had children, right? She used the word vain, which I don't think it is vain. I think, each to their own, and it's her comfort level, right? So in one level she's saying she just doesn't feel comfortable, and in another way she's saying she has no desire, for it to be a male director or a male crew around her in that scenario because of how she's portrayed or how women are portrayed. She said, you just get all greased up and it's like a load of heavy breathing men in a room, and it made her feel very uncomfortable. She did go on to say if there was a role offered to her shot by a female director and it was something about the journey of motherhood or learning to accept your body post children or something like that, she would be very up for the role. So I think for her at this point, she can cherry pick those roles, and fair play, why shouldn't she?
Listen, I'm just going to put it out there. If Orlando Bloom said he wasn't filming with any more women directors, this would be leading story. I'm just saying, there's two coins. 2 sides every coin. Damn, I messed that up.
You're turning into a little troll here, Jeff.
Listen,
I love it.
I'm turning, you know what it is? I'm turning into, what's the word? Not an instigator. What's the one who causes confrontation all the time?
But you got to think,
There's
Orlando Bloom hasn't had children.
Not an agitator, there's a word. I'll find out by the end of the show. Coming up on DBL, from the hit Netflix show Cobra Kai, I'm talking to actor Jacob Bertrand, how he's taking a pop culture classic and making it new again. What a cool guy. And Ava Mendes' daughter calls her out for being on the phone too much. Has that ever happened to you? That's coming up next. Welcome back to DBL. You should catch us during the breaks. First, I found out it's Ava, not Ava Mendes. So Ava Mendes took a break from social media after her 4-year-old daughter called her out. The actress shared an Instagram post reading, "It's okay to let your kids call you out. It's not disrespectful. It's healthy." Ava says her youngest child really took it personally that she was on her phone so much. This kind of makes me sad because I could relate. Ava shares 2 daughters with Ryan Gosling. She said she had a good talk with her kids and apologized. Ava, good for you, good for Ryan. I'm glad your kids called you out, right? I took a little break from social media too, just because times are so, this is another thing I'm trying to learn. Is it divisive or divisive? Could you say either one?
Divisive.
Divisive. I say divisive at least 10 times a week. That's a story for another time. But listen, I think it's, if your kid is calling you out, that means he's kind of crying for attention, at least in my eyes. I'm not saying Ava's and Ryan.
But right, okay, so you and Jordan obviously have got huge followings on social media, both of you respectfully. And so obviously as part of that, with your jobs and what you both do, your kids will see, you know, Instagramming or taking pictures or whatever. Do your 2 boys ever notice or say to you, "Hey, Mommy and Daddy, you're on the phone a lot," or what do they think to it?
Well, here's the they're on their own little tablets, right? So I took a little break from social media. I put my phone away when I go home. I want to spend time with my family. I notice it in them.
Wow.
So my wife's life, her business is online, right? She posts and does certain things. So she has to get all this content created, all this stuff I don't even think about, right? But I'm like, listen, we're watching a movie, put your phone down. You guys plug up your tablets, it's family time. I'm like that old dad, right? So I notice in them, and if they notice that in me, it'd be like, that means they're wanting my attention and I'm not giving it to them. I'd feel terrible.
And it's better for your kid to call you out than do something to try and force your attention. I mean, you just think of, I think we did the story, Michael Douglas and his son Cameron Douglas, who's been in and out of the penal system. Michael Douglas said he wishes that he was there, he was present for his son a little bit more, because he felt like, you know, him being away is kind of led to or helped lead to his son going down his own path and doing his own thing. So what I'm learning from my older brother, who I think is a great dad, is it's a difference, and Jeff, you can help me out here, it's a difference between being there and being present. And I think that's what she was saying, the kids calling her out, it's like, hey, you're there, you're here, but be present.
Yeah, I think she actually did a better job raising her kids. Again, I don't want to jump to conclusions, and I'm trying to be positive here, that her kids even have that conversation with her. Instead of just being like, Mommy doesn't talk to me, and kind of dealing with it in their own way, but she calls out her mom. That's amazing. That's awesome. I wish my kids did that. Like, Daddy, you watch too much football over the weekend. Because I do. I don't pay attention to them. I'm like, this game's on. So if my kids communicate with me like that, I think you're doing a good job as a parent.
Oh, absolutely. It's the fact that they feel that it can be really honest, they can share that with you, and also how beautiful that she then went on to take time away from social media to focus on her children. But also it's very difficult because she's incredibly famous. She's got so much going on. I'm sure her phone's going off every 10 minutes of the day, you know. So that is a very hard line for everyone to balance when you've got work and you're looking after your children, or like Jordan, your wife, she's at home, she's trying to run an Instagram business and take care of her family. It's hard work.
It's hard work. And Ava, if you and Ryan want to come over and talk about it, let's have a little barbecue coming up on DBL. What it's like working with legendary directors Steven Spielberg, Cobra Kai's Jacob Bertrand tells me all about it. You don't want to miss. Look at that cute face. Welcome back to DBL. I grew up watching the Karate Kid movies, so obviously I'm really into the new Netflix spinoff Cobra Kai, and earlier I caught up with Jacob Bertrand, aka Hawk. Here's today's Chatting with the Stars.
The truth is, you got soft and we paid the price.
You want Cobra Kai, it's yours.
Jacob Bertrand, welcome to DBL. I'm a huge fan. Now, Jacob, before we get into Cobra Kai, I gotta ask you, you had a role in Ready Player One, which I didn't know about, and you worked with Steven Spielberg. You gotta give me the scoop, man. What was that like?
Yeah, that was awesome. It was a super fun role. The audition was super weird. I got there and they were like, oh, you know, it's gonna be an improv audition. We'll let you know what you're gonna be doing once you're in the room. And I was like, okay, cool, like no big deal. And so I get in the room, there's a really nice lady waiting there, and we start talking, and she's really cool. And she's like, okay, like, let's start. I'll tell you what we're gonna do. She's like, so your scene is your father has just passed away, and okay, whenever you're ready. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, what the heck? Like, you can't do this to me.
Well, that's amazing. Did you get to talk to Spielberg at all?
Oh, yeah. I got to talk to him. It was pretty cool. I got to talk to him for like a good 20, 30 minutes. And I just walked up to him and I was like, I got to ask, like, why do you love shooting with like film so much? Like, why don't you just do digital? And I got his whole spiel about why film is better. And it was pretty cool.
That's incredible. I mean, I'd like to talk to him for 2 to 3 minutes, let alone 20 to 30. The original Karate Kid came out in 1984. I was a little kid, but you in Cobra Kai are pretty much the same age as Daniel was when he was learning all of his moves from Mr. Miyagi. Did you watch Karate Kid before you got Cobra Kai?
Yeah, so my dad, when I was like 8 years old, sat me and my little brother down and was like, these are movies you have to watch before you get any older. Like, yeah, he was like, he made sure that we knew what these movies were and how important they were.
Your friends, you know, they obviously know you for Jacob, right? But everybody else knows you as Hawk.
Did she enter your personal bubble without your verbal consent?
Yeah, she definitely triggered me in my safe space.
So do you still get recognized when you don't have that mohawk?
I actually do, which surprises me because I feel like I look very different without a mohawk. But yeah, I mean, I think because of quarantine and not everyone going out all the time, I haven't had a ton of fan interaction just because I'm not really going outside all that much.
I thought I was doing the right thing, but I failed you.
I finished season 3. I'm thirsty for more, man. Could you give us any insights? Are you guys filming season 4? Is there plans to film season 4? What's the deal? Give us a scoop here, Jacob.
All right. I've been sworn to secrecy. All I can say is that we're greenlit for season 4. I'm not allowed to say anything else other than that. It's top secret.
I love it, because Machio will give you the crane kick if you open your mouth, right?
Yeah, Ralph would absolutely beat me up if I said too much.
Who would win in a fight in real life? We're talking about Machio now and William Zabka.
You know, Ralph, I've looked up to you for years, you know, but I gotta give it to my sensei, you know. I definitely think Billy would take the cake. It would be close, but I think Billy would edge it out. He would definitely win.
Jacob, that was a very political answer. I can't wait to watch season 4. Best of luck to you in your future. I'm sure you have an amazing career. You got Spielberg in your corner, Ralph Macchio. What else do you need, buddy?
Of course, right? Hey, thanks so much, man. It was good talking to you.
I can't wait to catch up with you later on, buddy. And everybody, if you haven't watched Cobra Kai, check it out right now on Netflix. But make some time because you're going to be streaming it all day and night. Thank you, Jacob.
Sweet. Thanks so much, man.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to DBL. I got to share a quick story with you because Jacob was so awesome, the guy from Cobra Kai, and my son loves it. I don't know, he's only 4. Both of my sons, 2 and 4. But Lawson loves it, and he said hi to Lawson after the interview. I'm like, could you say hi to my son Lawson? He's like, hey, Lawson. He's like, keep kicking butt. But he said something else. I'm like, I'm still going to show my son. And I showed him this morning because they sent me the clip. He was so happy. I left this morning. He comes on to grad. He goes, Dad, what time's the Karate Kid interview? I'm like, 1 o'clock. He's like, okay, love you, Dad. So thanks, Jacob. We love you. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.